Do you know what monitoring theory is and how it affects the outcome of sports? I don't either, but it goes like this. Pressure raises self-consciousness and anxiety about performing correctly, which increases the attention paid to skill processes and their step-by-step control. That's called choking, and we can all recognize a choke when we see one. Fancy words or not. Like the Falcons deciding not to kneel every play after going up 28-3 in the Super Bowl and then keeping Dan Quinn. These are things you never recover from. But for some of even the greatest chokes ever, there was redemption on the horizon. In fact, sweet revenge came quite quickly, and we're gonna find out all about them. The greatest redemption tours in sports history is coming up right after this. This one is a controversial pick, I know. Golden State finished the 2016 regular season with a record of 73-9, besting the 1996 Bulls and featuring Steph Curry, the first unanimous league MVP in history. The Warriors fought back down 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals against Kevin Durant and the Thunder and found themselves in the opposite position against the Cavs in the finals. A Steph Curry mouthguard assault and a Draymond Green dong kick led to consecutive blown games. In Game 7, the Cavs prevailed thanks to an iconic chase-down block by LeBron James and a late three by Kyrie Irving. The mighty Warriors choked, and then Draymond choked up in the parking lot as he made a phone call with Kevin Durant. The next chapter, KD became a Warrior. Again, Golden State cruises through the playoffs, and this time they finish off Cleveland in 5 games, turning their 3-1 lead into a Larry O'Brien trophy. What did we learn from this? Does adding a top 3 player in the league mean they fixed their choking? Or did they do everything in their power to avoid those pressure-filled situations in the first place? Yeah, maybe the latter. In Game 7 of the 2014 World Series against the San Francisco Giants, the Kansas City Royals were down a run in the bottom of the 9th. Alex Gordon, the tying run, had just tripled and stood 90 feet from sending the winner-take-all game to extras. Salvador Perez, one of the best catchers in the game, saw his chance to become a hero and popped the ball to third. Game over, season over. When you come that close and fall short, it's hard to imagine ever making it back, Rangers. But the Royals righted the ship in 2015 and won 95 games in the regular season. In the ALDS against the Astros, the Royals found themselves in a nearly impossible hole. Facing elimination, they were down 6-2 in the 8th inning. Instead of packing it in, KC roared back and won the game before closing it out in 5. After a 6-game defeat of the Blue Jays, the Royals were ready to face off with the surprising Mets in the World Series, right where they had been 12 months earlier. In the Royals' first at-bat of the series, leadoff man Alcides Escobar set the tone with an inside-the-park home run, showing the world that they were destined to finish the job. Despite the instant lead, the Royals found themselves trailing by a run in the bottom of the 9th. Rather than tripling, Alex Gordon did the whole damn thing himself and tied the game with the bomb to dead center off of Jerry's familiar cement mixer. 5 innings later, and the Royals took Game 1 on a walk-off sac fly. The series was hardly in doubt after that. Their trade line addition, Johnny Cueto, spun a Game 2 gem, and another strong start by Edison Volquez kept Game 5 within reach. After Matt Harvey threw a tantrum and refused to come out of the game, and Terry Collins actually listened to him, Eric Hosmer tied the game late, and in the 12th, KC exploded for 5 runs and performed open heart surgery on every Mets fan's hopes and dreams. If by surgery we mean driving a wooden stake through their collective sternums. KC had climbed the mountain for the first time since 1985. The Royals faced high leverage situations just like they were in 2014, but flipped the script. Maybe it was experience, maybe some luck, or maybe it was just the goddamn Mets. In the most recent addition to the list, the Tampa Bay Lightning used the Stanley Cup bubble as the setting to their 2020 redemption. Before they made Tampa Bay the city of champions once more, the Lightning tied an NHL record in 2019, winning 62 games, a President's Trophy, and securing the top seed in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And it all started so well. Up 3-0 in Game 1 of the first round against the Blue Jackets, they seemed destined to hoist the cup. Yeah, about that. The Lightning were outscored 15-5 in the final 3 games and went out in an electrical storm, prompting one of the most famous take the L tweets of all time. It seemed the poor performance carried over into the next year when the Lightning started 17-13-4. Captain Steve Stamkos appeared to be out for the season too. But then, in a weird way, they actually caught a break. The season was interrupted by the MERONA Pirates Slam Medic, and when play resumed, they ended up finishing a stretch where they won 23 of their final 26. Again in the playoffs, they were pitted against the Blue Jackets, and there was no choking this time. Tampa Bay swatted the Blue Jackets in 5, then ran through the Bruins, Islanders, and finally the Stars to complete their redemption arc, with Stammer scoring a goal and Urinating Tree getting old takes exposed. Only one number 1 seed has been upset by a 16 seed in the history of the NCAA tournament. That shameful distinction belongs to the University of Virginia, who was upset by a group of underdogs who were actually dogs, the University of Maryland, Baltimore County Retrievers. Virginia didn't just choke at the end, they choked the whole second half. They basically choked down the full entree. After heading into the locker room knotted up at 21 after the first half, Virginia came out flat in the final 20 minutes and got smoked 53-33. Future pros Kyle Guy and Ty Jerome went 2 of 11 from 3, while UMBC buried half of their shots from long distance. Virginia could have crawled under a rock, but instead they came back with a vengeance the following season, cruising to another number 1 seed. That meant they'd have to exercise their demons against another 16 seed, Gardner-Webb. In the first half, it looked like Virginia felt the pressure once again, entering the locker room down 6. This time though, for the second half, the Cavaliers hit the gas and outscored their opponents by 21 in the final 20 minutes. A win against Oklahoma, Oregon, and an OT thriller against Purdue, and a 1-point BS victory over Auburn.
War Eagle! I tried to tell everyone! Wait, what happened? What happened? What?
Took them to the championship, where Virginia scored 17 in overtime to defeat a game Texas Tech and complete the redemption tour. It helped that Virginia had future top 5 pick DeAndre Hunter back after not playing in the loss the season before, but it took a gut check and a calm demeanor, according to their head coach Tony Bennett, to successfully dislodge the dog hair from their windpipe. And finally, our greatest redemption tour, one you probably forgot about. Before the Broncos became back-to-back champs in the late 90s, they were a 13-3 team upset at home by an expansion squad in their second year of existence. In 1996, the Broncos cruised to a first-round bye and the top seed in the AFC behind 1,500 yards from Terrell Davis, 26 touchdown passes by John Elway, and a total point differential of plus 116. Denver was 12-1 at one point and had locked up the number 1 seed by week 13, which essentially allowed them to go on cruise control for a month. It turns out, when it came to play the frisky Jacksonville Jaguars in the divisional round, they weren't able to shift it into gear. Mark Brunell and Natron Means outdid Elway and Davis, and the best regular season team went 1 and done. The crushing defeat forced John Elway to look at his career as a whole. 3 Super Bowl losses, and with his strongest team ever stunned by an expansion team. It made sense to wonder if he would ever return to the big game. A year later though, armed with new uniforms and a new sense of purpose, the Broncos atoned for their sins. They didn't get a first round bye. In fact, they didn't even win their division, but they did get a wild card matchup with those same pesky Jaguars. This time Denver wasn't rusty, and they took sweet revenge 42-17. We know what happened next. Denver upset the defending champion Packers in the Super Bowl and followed it up with a dominant run and second Super Bowl title in 1998. How did they Heimlich themselves? Denver took a look in the mirror, saw their biggest weaknesses, and fixed the problem. When they were upset by the Jags, Denver couldn't pressure Brunell, who scrambled at will, so they signed Pro Bowl defensive end Neil Smith to change that. It also helped as a 12-4 wildcard team. They were just as talented, but unburdened by the pressure of expectation. Maybe that's the surprise blessing that comes with choking. When you've gotten it out of the way, the pressure lifts and no one expects you to come through in the end, thus making it impossible or difficult to choke. Well, unless you're Clayton Kershaw, who might actually redeem redeem himself. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below on 5 Points Vids, and you made it to my next video.